Hello, I'm Dr. Thaddeus Rusty Venture. Mean anything to you? Well, you can Google me later. But enough about me. I'm here to talk about someone else. You know, some might say that Charles Harding came by his inclination toward technology naturally, as his father is an engineer. His grandfather was an engineer, and his great-grandfather was an engineer, and an early dean of electrical engineering at Purdue and member of IEEE. He worked with Steinmetz and was a contemporary of Edison and Tesla. Heard of them? You know, side note, my own father was very prominent in the super sciences, Dr. Jonas Venture Sr. Crickets. Well, you can Google him later. Anyway, from an early age, Charles was one of those children that took everything apart. If you have a child like this, cut them some slack, as there is apparently a significant lead time from when you can take things apart to when you can put them back together again. And now, the most embarrassing photo. When Charles was in high school, the word on the street was that we would all be using computers in the future. A crazy dream. A lot of people thought it might look something like this 9-track reel-to-reel IBM system. So naive. Charles was one of those kids you hear about who built the first PCs in the garages of California. This display of the first Apple is from a museum in Mountain View, California. Charles built a keyboard kit identical to the one in this case. Charles worked for many years at WordPerfect. WordPerfect. One of the first 4 so-called killer apps on the PC that in 1993 owned more than 60% of the worldwide word processing market. True fact. Charles then worked for Novell, a company that controlled the LAN, the local area network, server software market back when that was a thing. He also worked on advanced automation projects at Cyberdyne Systems for a while. At Ovid, they discovered that the U.S. government spent buku bucks to index all of the scientific journals published in the world, and then release them to the public domain. The catch? In 1997, they were still being delivered on 9-track reel-to-reel tape, like the ones in the earlier black-and-white photo. So, at Ovid, they figured out how to get the data off the 9 tracks, give it a good search engine, and resell it on media that was actually being used. CDs. Just for fun, and to prove that you can never completely trust someone's background, one of these companies is completely fictitious. Now stop the video for a second and take a guess. I'll wait. Yum da 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 da. Did you guess correctly? Cyberdyne Systems is the company from the Terminator film franchise. You remember that? I'll be back. That's right. Classic line. However, if Charles had to prove he worked at Cyberdyne Systems, he could have, as he still has his ID badge and a copy of the brain chip he was working on. Charles moved from the corporate world to higher education, where he has had some success with his research. When someone Googles you, you never know what will come up. This required readings page is from the UC Santa Barbara Technology Writing course. Now, if you look in week 2, right after Carl Sagan, they have to read Charles Harding. They get through it. One last thing. Charles is a bit AADD, so if he wanders too far off the track, your safe word is squirrel, and it'll bring him right back. I've been Dr. Thaddeus Rusty Venture, and you can Google me now. Have a scientastic day.